a complex geopolitical triangle: Russia, Ukraine, and the US. The world watches as a dangerous dance unfolds on the global stage. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has ignited a firestorm of geopolitical tensions, drawing in major powers and reshaping the international order. At the heart of this conflict lies a complex triangle of relationships between Russia, Ukraine, and the United States. Vladimir Putin, the enigmatic leader of Russia, has made a bold move, expressing his willingness to engage in talks with former US President Donald Trump. This unexpected development has sent shockwaves through the international community, raising questions about Putin's motives and the potential for a diplomatic solution to the crisis. Meanwhile, current US President Joe Biden stands firm in his unwavering support for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The US has committed billions of dollars in military and humanitarian aid to Ukraine, bolstering its defenses against Russian aggression. Biden has condemned Putin's actions in no uncertain terms, labeling him a war criminal and calling for his removal from power. The Biden administration has imposed crippling sanctions on Russia, targeting its economy and isolating it from the global financial system. The war in Ukraine is not just a regional conflict, it is a global crisis with far-reaching implications. It has exposed the fragility of the post-Cold War order and raised fears of a new era of great power competition. The outcome of this conflict will have profound consequences for the future of Europe, the transatlantic alliance, and the rules-based international system. Putin's gambit-seeking dialogue with Trump. Putin's overture to Trump is a calculated move, designed to exploit divisions within the US and sow discord among Western allies. Trump has long expressed admiration for Putin's leadership, even as he condemned Russia's actions in Ukraine. By reaching out to Trump, Putin is attempting to bypass the Biden administration and appeal directly to a more sympathetic figure in American politics. Putin's motives are clear. He seeks to weaken Western resolve, undermine support for Ukraine, and secure a favorable outcome to the conflict. He knows that Trump is deeply unpopular in Europe and that his involvement would likely be met with suspicion and resistance. However, Putin's gambit is a risky one. It is unclear whether Trump has any real interest in engaging with Putin or whether he would be able to exert any influence over the current situation. Moreover, Putin's overture could backfire, further isolating Russia and strengthening the resolve of the US and its allies. Biden's resolve, unwavering support for Zelensky and Ukraine. President Biden has taken a firm stance against Russia's aggression, pledging unwavering support for Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The US has provided billions of dollars in military aid to Ukraine, including advanced weapon systems, intelligence sharing, and training for Ukrainian forces. Biden has also rallied international support for Ukraine, working to isolate Russia diplomatically and economically. The Biden administration has imposed unprecedented sanctions on Russia, targeting its financial system, energy sector, and key industries. These sanctions have had a devastating impact on the Russian economy, sending the ruble plummeting and pushing inflation to record highs. The US has also worked to cut off Russia's access to critical technologies and supplies, further crippling its war effort. Biden's support for Ukraine is not just about defending a democratic country under attack, it is about upholding the principles of international law and the rules-based order that have governed the world since World War II. Section 4. The uncertain path to peace, obstacles, and international law. The path to peace in Ukraine remains treacherous and uncertain. While both sides have expressed a willingness to engage in negotiations, significant obstacles remain. Putin has shown no signs of backing down from his demands, which include Ukraine's neutrality, recognition of Crimea as Russian territory, and autonomy for the separatist regions in eastern Ukraine. Ukraine, for its part, is determined to defend its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Zelensky has vowed to fight on until all Russian forces are withdrawn from Ukrainian territory. The international community has a vital role to play in facilitating a peaceful resolution to the conflict. The United Nations, the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, and other international bodies must continue to engage with both sides, seeking to bridge divides and build trust. The principles of international law and humanitarian law must be at the forefront of any peace process. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is a clear violation of the UN Charter and a grave breach of international law. The targeting of civilians and civilian infrastructure constitutes war crimes, and those responsible must be held accountable. Section 5. A World on Edge. Global Implications and the Future. The war in Ukraine has sent shockwaves through the global order, with far-reaching implications for international security, the global economy, and the future of democracy. The conflict has exacerbated existing tensions between Russia and the West, raising fears of a new Cold War. It has also exposed the fragility of the rules-based international system and the limits of international cooperation in the face of naked aggression. The economic consequences of the war are already being felt around the world. The conflict has disrupted global supply chains, driven up energy prices, and fueled inflation. The war has also led to a surge in food prices, raising concerns about food security, particularly in developing countries. The war in Ukraine is a defining moment for the international community. It is a test of our collective resolve to uphold international law, defend democracy, and protect the rules-based order that has underpinned global peace and prosperity for decades. The outcome of this conflict will have profound consequences for the future.